That's a tap UFC275 pay-per-view in Singapore.
The Lion City.
Yep.
Is that what they call it? The Lion City?
I think so. Yeah. But I'm sitting next to a lion.
Oh,
and, ready to get into it.
Yeah.
It's a special time.
Yeah.
Obviously, local event, within this region.
Yeah.
But also, that's a tap's going to be there.
Yeah.
Going to be there. I'm
100%.
Super excited to be live at another UFC event on the road.
Yeah.
We're going to chop it up, get into the card.
I know.
I hope it was a little stronger, but I'm still excited.
Still salty.
Still excited. What can you do? Whitaker obviously got the injury.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. But yeah, what are your thoughts heading into this pay-per-view?
Man, my main thought is I'm super fucking jealous of you being there in person. But look, I'm excited as well. Look, I'll be there in spirit. I'll be watching the pay-per-view. I'll be buying the stream. I'll be watching it, and then I'll try and spot you up there. Keep an eye out for CT trying to heckle Dana White, because he's going to try and convince the man to bring an UFC down here to Melbourne or to Australia. So hopefully he succeeds. Going into UFC 275, how do I feel? I am, as any other UFC pay-per-view event, I'm super excited, man. Like, UFC has got the formula right. They've been putting up bangers after bangers after bangers, some great fights. Obviously, I do hear your sentiment. I think you could argue the card is a little bit watered down, but I also feel the reason we feel that is purely on that one fight we lost. When you look at that one fight, the fight alone is a massive fight. Whitaker Vittori is a massive fight, right? The moment it got taken away, I feel the aura of the card dropped, because we expected it, and then now it's not happening. So I think, look, that impacted sort of the card, but I still think it's a great card, because you've got some amazing fighters. You've got, in my opinion, the best female fighter on planet Earth in Valentina Shevchenko fighting. You also got a repeat of the fight of the year back in 2020, right?
Before the pandemic even started.
Just before that was the last pay-per-view.
February 2020 in Houston. March.
It was March. And it was the co-main to the Adesanya Romero fight. Look, it was one of the best fights. To this day, you could watch it and you'll be impressed. Now, later on, we'll talk about how that plays into this fight. But you got the rematch, right? And then you got the main event in obviously who's had a rejuvenation in Glover Teixeira, taking on the sensation who is Yuri Prochazka. Everyone's, man, I would love to see him fight live. He seems like this unsolvable puzzle, right? So, and then you've got a lot of local talent. You've got the exciting Madalena fighting, right in the main card. You've got Jake Matthews fighting Andre Fiallo, who's coming off like back-to-back knockouts, and that's got like an amazing fight written all over it. And then we also got Robert Whittaker's teammate Jacob Malkoun also fighting in the preliminary cards, with Whittaker being there in person as well. So you're in for a treat. I feel like you're going to bump into a lot of fighters. You're going to get a lot of photo ops. Try to sneak in a few interviews if you can. Grab them on your cell phone, have your mic ready. But look, overall feeling of the card, I think it's still a good card. It's still a card worth buying a pay-per-view for, and it's still a card worth getting a ticket and going in. I mean, we were discussing this a while back, where we were saying, look, given, UFC is going back to Singapore after a while, after the pandemic, also, back on the road after a while, and they also got one of the competitors who's based in Singapore, which is One Championship. So you'd expect, UFC to put their biggest, baddest card just to have a show out. Yes, they lost that big fight, and is this the biggest card they could put together? Probably not. They could do more. If you look at the Adesanya Kananaya card, that's what a big card looks like. Still salty. It's not happening in Melbourne. But having said that, though, there's a stadium sold out. Right. It's completely sold out. So it shows the power of the UFC, and it shows sort of the power of like the select few stars who are in this, who are going to be able to carry that card. So
I sort of had a time to think about it. obviously purchasing tickets to go before Whitaker fight and Vettori fell through. But I really, thinking about it, I understand with UFC having events every weekend and a lot of their talent US, like to the logistics coming down to that, sending them over to Singapore, like, having to fill such another big fight. I could understand that this is the best, given this particular time, this is the best they could do. They did top it up with a couple more local fighters, which has us more excited maybe than some of the US audience will. But still, like creme de la creme of female talent, and huge main event as well. Huge main event, and a couple of decent main event fights as well.
100%.
Like you said, could it be better? Yes, but it's a pay-per-view. Still going to watch it. Still got a lot of stakes on the line. And looking forward to it.
And then quickly to address the obviously Whitaker got injured, right? We would love to see him fight, but look, it's rescheduled. I'm glad they rescheduled it, then find another opponent for Vettori. I know Vettori was calling out Till and Hamzat. But now it makes sense why they didn't, obviously, because they want Till to fight in the London card, which makes a lot more sense. And then also Hamzat, they just don't want to risk, damaging that aura that he has at the moment, which is like, is that undefeated fighter, because they want that welterweight matchup, because obviously UFC understands, especially after the Gilbert Burns fight, Hamzat will have most of his success in that welterweight division. So they don't want to send him to a guy like Vettori. When you look at the upper sort of the top 3, top 5 in the middleweight division, they're very tough fights, right? Even for Hamzat. Now, right, let's go top to bottom, right? Main event. We've got the up and coming, the exciting Yuri Prokashka taking on the war veteran, you could say, the battle tested Glover Teixeira, who became champion last year, right? And at the age of 42 is defending his belt, right? So massive storyline there. What are your thoughts on that fight?
I love it. Yeah, I love it. It's everything that the UFC is: longevity with Glover, persistence, and the exciting young talent that's coming up. And I was just about to say, light heavyweight, it's a pretty deep division. We obviously have Adesanya, who may move up. We have John Jones, who may fight there one day again, maybe. We have Dominic Reyes, who he's suffered some loss, but he's still around. It's a deep division. And looking forward to seeing after this fight what's next. We have another really exciting, or we had another exciting fight with Jan and Rakic. The other event. And this is just going to keep pushing the division forward. And I think it's a worthy, main event for the pay-per-view. And the styles. What do you make of the styles?
I mean, the story of the fight going into the actual fight is that obviously Yuri's got a massive advantage in the striking department, and then we've got Glover, who's going to be quite extremely dominant on the ground, and it's whether he can get him to the ground, and then if he does get him to the ground, it's just only a matter of time before that fight comes to conclusion. I don't know if it's as easy as that, right? I find it hard to believe that Yuri doesn't know takedown defense, or not stay in an area where he's not comfortable in, but also like he's sort of, we have not seen his ground game, right? So it'll be exciting to see that. And this is obviously Teixeira is predominantly a grappler, so to be able to see that and what he can do and how Yuri can defend, a lot of questions will be answered. Naturally, the fight favors Yuri based on his past performances and how he's gone about his business. But then again, Glover's impressed us too. No one thought, if you told me before the Jan fight that he was going to submit Jan, I would have said, no, that's a joke, right? Because as soon as prior to that, what we thought of, obviously he did put that win streak together, which even Dana White was saying, look, I find it hard to deny this now. He felt bad doing that Adesanya Jan fight because Glover was there and he's getting old, and he was saying, I put a 5-5 win streak. We saw what he did to Anthony Smith, right? Okay, and he went on a tear, Glover that is, right? But we also remember the times when he was getting knocked out by Alexander Gustafsson, what John Jones did to him, right? Anthony Rumble Johnson sort of send him to the shadow realm, right? So to go through all that and then come back shows the man's resilience and sort of being able to beat Jan Blachowicz, who was himself a power puncher. And then now, if he does defend the belt against Yuri, right, he sort of cements him as a very, very dominant lightweight champion, right? So light heavyweight. Sorry, my bad. Now, having said that, though, you made an interesting point. Like post John Jones, I think now the light heavyweight divisions got very exciting. Before that, it was more okay. Well, everyone's going to fight everyone, and then they're going to just come up and fight John Jones, and we know what happens there.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas now it's more who's going to win. I cannot sit here and tell you who will be the champion in 2 months' time. That's what's exciting about this
and the
division.
Best, and the thing that's best about UFC, DJ, is that the best fight the best.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about the boxing in the previous episode. About Kambosos winning it from Teofimo. Then Haney winning it from Thing. We're seeing belts just exchange. That's getting more interest. The UFC's been doing that for days. Best fight the best. Be prepared for the belts to continue to move.
They've always been that. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about the UFC. Say what you may. Like there have been instances, yes, they've sometimes leapfrog contenders in favor of financial benefits. However, majority of the time, the best fight the best. Simple as that. And then again, if you make it in the UFC, like you're considered one of the best. You know what I mean? So look, I think for me another crazy thing is Yuri Prokasia was a very active fighter during his kickboxing days. Fighting numerous times in a year to now only having fought on twice in the UFC. Let's not forget that. He's only fought twice and he's getting his third fight's a title shot, right? So it'll be good to see if he can actually live up to that hype, right? Or was it just a fluke? I hope, and I know it's not a fluke. I think he's a genuine martial artist.
He beat Reyes with a hellbow.
He did.
So that was to knock a guy out with that much skill set and experience with an athlete. He deserves
he does
where he is.
And the way he carries himself, his charisma, he projects that the aura of a pure martial artist, right? That's his thing. I'm a martial artist, and the way he conducts himself. So if you follow him on social media, you'll see sort of the lifestyle he lives and he translates into his fighting. And then on the other end you got Glover, who's gone through everything and has done what he's done and gone through multiple fights, victories, defeats, right? And then has come to this point, right? And has stood the test of time. Look, I think it's going to be a great fight. I don't think it's going to be as easy for Yuri as people think it's going to be. And I also think it's not going to be as easy as people saying if Teixeira gets it to the ground, is getting it done. I just don't think it's going to be that simple, right? So, but let's for everyone's sake, especially yours, you're going to be there in person. That it's a good, exciting main event. Quickly though, who do you have winning that fight?
And just starting to chop this up with you, starting to really look at styles a bit more, and the legacies. It could be a changing of the guard. If Glover loses, again, he's reached the top. Do they continue to give him rematches? What happens there? Prokasia on the come up. It's like you said, is it more hype if he loses and flames out? I think it's so even. I'm really going to go out on a limb. And just say, obviously the way the fight goes, if it's more on the ground, Glover. If Yuri tries to finish it early, I can really see his youth and quickness. Maybe putting Glover to sleep. If he's a bit complacent. So you know what? I'm going to go with the theme and trend and just say the belt exchanges again, and Yuri wins.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm going to go with you. Yeah, I think it's going to be a round 2 knockout. I want to predict that. It's going to be a round 2 knockout. I feel, and I think, I think Yuri gets it done. I think Yuri. We all know I've not kept this a secret. One of my dream fights to be able to watch is for Adesanya to go back up to light heavyweight and try and reclaim that, like, or capture that title. And I would love to see him do it against Yuri, right? Both with kickboxing backgrounds, both extremely exciting strikers. And what is better still, I want that to happen in December, and I want that to happen in Melbourne, Australia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that'll be, could you imagine that main event? My God. But anyway, I want to say Yuri Prochazka, round 2.
You agree? Okay, with a knockout.
Round 2, knockout or TKO, one of those is what I say, what I feel. And then we got the core main event in the dominant, the best female fighter in Valentina Shevchenko taking on Talia Santos. What do you think of that fight?
Look, I'm just going to be excited to be there and actually see a legend. Like I said, another legend the UFC has produced. Love some of her finishes over her career. And I got her winning easily. Again, no disrespect to the opponent, Talia. But looking, excitement when you see Valentina fight, like you could see a finish. At any point, that's going to have the crowd. It's going to have me excited, and I'm just looking forward to seeing her. Because she doesn't fight a lot. She's not active a lot. So just to actually see her fight and be there, it's going to have me excited.
I think obviously she's kind of had a bit of a bigger break since fighting Lauren Murphy last time. But hey, look, she's a very dominant. She's a very dominant fighter. There's only a few once in a lifetime fighters, and Valentina's one of them, right? And you're very lucky that you get to see her fight in person. Look, common sense would say she's going to get this done easily. But man, you never know. Like this year, this past few cards have been, the time of the underdogs. Right? We saw it against Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena. Right? There was a massive upset. So we don't know. But I guess the difference is that similar to Yuri, and there's a bit of a pattern in this card, but similar to Yuri, I think Valentina Shevchenko is a lifelong martial artist. She considers that she's a pure martial artist. She takes it very seriously in terms of training, even outside of camps, how she handles herself. So I think her work ethic and her discipline are going to contributed to its success and will continue to do so. So look, I'm honestly going to say I feel like Valentina pretty much. It could be a finish or a decision. I just can't pinpoint that, but it's going to be a Valentina victory. It's going to be end still.
She's going to be really motivated, pumped again to be on a super stage. Get excited for these fighters because they hit the road. A lot of US or international talent. Or Valentina has to hit the road a lot, but for these fighters to be in a new city, new environment, Singapore, like they're going to want to show out.
Correct. And that region is considered like sort of the hub of martial arts, right? And then when you get people like this, like Yuri, like Valentina, obviously you get that sort of pressure on you to needing to perform. And I think she will. I think she's gonna put together another masterclass. This is the thing with Valentina, is that she's good wherever the fight goes. You take it to the ground, you keep it striking. She's phenomenal everywhere, right? I would say even she's arguably one of the best fighters on planet Earth right now. Male or female. So easily my favorite female fighter. And obviously definitely one of the best fighters. That leads us to our third fight in the card, right, which is probably one of the most anticipated fights of all time, which is the rematch between Weili Zhang and Joanna. Last name. I can't say it.
Jacek.
Jacek.
Can it be as good as the original? Though? Can a sequel be as good as the original?
One thing I'll tell you is that whenever you have such an exciting first fight, the pressure itself is a lot. The expectations are through the roof. To be able to recreate that is going to be very difficult. As I mentioned in our other episode of, when we were talking about the Kambosos Haney rematch, is that once you've had that, you're going to be a little bit gun shy. Right, you're not going to try and recreate the same thing again. First, because the fighters went through that aftermath and the healing process as well. They don't want to do that again. But also in terms of what's at stake, Dana White's come out and said, winner gets the title shot. And hey, look, I could be way out of line saying this, but I feel like either one of these girls can beat Carla Esparza. Right. So both of them would be wanting, look, if I want to be champion, I need to get this. I need to get this win. Right. So I think Whaley is a great fighter, amazing fighter. I think.
And the crowd's
going
to be massively
Whaley,
behind her.
Pro Whaley, which is going to be very different for her compared to the last few fights that she's had.
Yeah.
And then we got, obviously, I thought a fight with Rose was very close. Like it could have gone to her. That second fight, obviously, the first fight was that knockout. Then Joanna, man, you cannot talk about women's MMA without talking about the contribution that Joanna's done to the sport, right? She was a dominant champ. She's fought everyone, right? You name it, and she's always got exciting fights. She's never got a boring fight, right? So very excited to see her back after 2 years, right? And obviously looking forward to the fight itself, and the big question is, can that be repeated? I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably not going to be as exciting as the first one. I'll be happily proved wrong. I would love to be proved wrong, but I'm just going to say it's not going to be as exciting as the first one.
Yeah.
And I also see Whaley coming out winning again.
Okay. Yeah. No, look, I can't disagree. But I do feel like it's going to be very exciting still, like just stylistically.
Yeah.
And the notoriety that both got from the last banger.
Yeah.
I just think they're both just going to say, hey, like we just.
Yeah,
let's just both go at it, and this is going to be fight of the night
Let's
again.
Get the bag.
And then Dana's just going to be like, "Do you guys want to run it back again?"
Yeah,
like
due to popular demand.
Yeah.
And hey,
go back to the well. If something's doing well, like they're strikers.
Yeah.
All they did was just strike for 3 straight rounds last time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, do it again. The crowd's going to be insane.
Yeah. I can see that happening.
I could still see it being very exciting, but being better than the original, who knows? Like, I mean, might it be better?
Yeah.
Imagine if it is.
Could you imagine? How do you make it better though? Like that was like the ultimate back and forth fight, right? Probably the most exciting fight without a finisher. I think for me, the 2 most exciting fights I've seen, what happened, like not live in person, but happening as it was happening, was one was this fight, the Whaley and Joanna fight, and the other one was the Poirier Hooker fight.
Yeah.
Right? Those 2 were like, my God, what a fight!
It was like, it's going to be end any second, but they both keep going.
They keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's a testament to these both fighters. They come forward.
Yeah.
They take hits.
Yeah.
So that's why you could think, hey, it's still going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Maybe the only way it might not be is if one just connects amazingly and it puts the other one to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the reason I was giving. I mean, wait. What was your pick? Who do you think is going to win that fight?
Look, I'm going to say Whaley as well, just because of I think the crowd. I think obviously Singapore. It's going to be very very pro Whaley, and I can understand why they put this fight on this card. You go to Asia, you definitely need some Asian fighter, and you obviously got Shevchenko, which is from the Eastern region, as well. So I could see it. I could see Whaley. Who knows?
The reason I picked Whaley as well is because I think she's been the more active fighter since their last fight. I think Joanna's had 1 fight since then. But also, sort of Whaley showed how much she was able to take that loss to Rose and come back and put on a really good performance in that rematch to almost snatch that victory. I mean, it was a fight that could have gone either way. But hey, here we are. Look, so that's my prediction for that. And then what do we have next? We've got one of our own up and coming stars in Madalena. He is fighting a guy called Amiv, right? So he's fighting Amiv. He's opening the main card. Usually you see whenever you get that slot, the main card opener slot, that means they know that's a certified banger. Right? The reason is you only put exciting fights as an opener for a main card because that sets the tone for the card. So the fact that he was chosen just off 1 UFC fight, right? Man, very excited for this guy. Look, I'll be closely following all his fights. I think he's going to be that next big thing. There's another guy also fighting in this, in Jake Matthews, who's also someone who will be quite big for us as well, I believe. And then we also got Jacob Malkoun fighting as well. But in terms of this fight, look, if you remember that first fight, right, there was a lot of opponent change and everything, but that striking was masterclass, right? Crisp, clean, very, very selective in terms of the approach, calm, collected, full killer instinct. There was nothing to dislike about that performance, and I'm expecting nothing short of another masterclass from Madalena. And I think he's going to come out victorious, and I think he's gonna land himself in a position where he's going to start seeing some big fights now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. No, absolutely, I agree. And also, I want to add this because when I was talking on Twitter, again, follow us on That's a Tap.
Yeah.
There was some many other Aussie community talking on the thread when Whitaker pulled out, and there was news and stuff, and there was a lot of Aussies that I gathered had purchased tickets to fly over and see.
Yeah.
So I could imagine there being an Aussie contingent in this crowd, and getting behind him even more.
Yeah.
Like I think it's going to be a very, very pro him. With an Australian crowd there. So.
Yeah. And like you said, keep in mind it's not that bad a trip from here to Singapore, right?
Yep.
I mean, people are in the middle of booking holidays. If you're a fight fan, okay, well, let me just let's have a crossover. Like go watch the fight and then continue with the holiday.
And he's a WA guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
WA is
the
closest region to get to Singapore from Australia, which is one of the closest. Yeah. Which is just a 6-hour flight, 6 hours. So there could be 1,000 Aussies.
Yeah. And he's not gonna have the disadvantage of time differences as well. It's gonna be in the same time.
Difference.
You don't need body adjustment or nothing. So man, like I said, quite excited. Probably one of if you were to tell me like pick one fight that you're very excited about in this card, I would say that. I don't know much about his opponent, but just to see him fight, I'd like to. I'm very excited. Obviously, we got I think Brendan Allen and Jacob Malkoon, who is Robert Whitaker's teammate. So Robert Whitaker is going to be there, which is very exciting. Again, a very wrestling heavy fighter, right? His approach is a very strong ground game. I think we had some sort of record number of takedowns in his last fight. And look, he's 1-1 in the UFC.
Yeah.
And look, again, I would love to see him do well. Another one coming out of the Robert Whitaker camp, right? And we see where that goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. I think he's going to want to do it for his guy, and I think
you still want Whitaker to fight.
Hey, I just seeing the fact that he's going to be there is cool.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But we're always talking about the future of the organization, the future of the divisions, and I'm happy I'm going to get exposure to some of these up and coming guys that are Australian, and this is apart from being a pay-per-view in Australia, this is probably as close as they're going to get to fighting on home soil. Yeah, and just another exciting fight, not a big high-profile one, but for us again, a little bit more interest. Than there might be a US audience. And I could understand how some US audiences feel a little bit underwhelmed at this pay-per-view card. But at the end of the day, you got 12 pay-per-view events a year. You got fight nights that are really good, like some really good fight nights that sometimes could be main events too. Pay-per-views as well. So given the fact that they're going to take the UFC on the road, look, I could understand this card. For what it is.
100%. And also, look, quickly to talk about as well, like Jake Matthews is fighting in the card as well, another very exciting fighter. And the guy he's fighting is Andre Fiallo, who's been in nothing but exciting fights. And he's lost to Michel Pereira, and then he's gone and beaten 2 other guys in vicious knockouts and in short notice fights. And this one was also another quick turnaround fight. So for him to step in, and I think that fight's going to be fireworks. 2 exciting guys, one home talent, going against this knockout artist who's emerged. So very excited for that fight too. And what I realized also is that one of Israel Adesanya's teammate is fighting in the early prelims, Blood Diamond from that City Kickboxing team. Yeah, nice. Obviously, he had an unfortunate loss in his debut. But and now he's come back and he's taking his second fight.
So they'll fly Izzy. I'm pretty sure Izzy will be there.
I doubt it. You know why? Because he's probably preparing for his own camp.
Yeah, that's true. But it is a local area, maybe for UFC promotions.
Yeah, they could do a stopover.
There's going to be some more high-profile guys in the crowd.
When is the Adesanya fight? I feel like
I think it's August.
No, July, 3rd of July.
Oh, July, is it?
Yeah, okay. So 3rd of July. Hey, it could be. He could do a stopover at Singapore support his teammate, and then because obviously when Adesanya's done those camps in the past as well, gone and set up camp there, and done that. So maybe you do that. But
better the humidity of there, than be training in the freezing cold.
Yeah.
Out here.
Yeah. No, sounds good. Look, before we wrap up, I want to just quickly summarize my key picks for the main event. I'm going to go with Giri, co-main Valentina Shevchenko. The Weili-Joanna fight, I'm going to go with Weili. The Madalena fight, I'm going to go with Madalena, obviously. Then Allen and Malcolm, I'm going to go with Malcolm. And then Jake Matthews and Fiallo, I'm going to go with Jake Matthews. And that's sort of my key picks, outside some of those fights. What about you?
I think went Yuri, Valentina with you on that, Weili with you on that as well, and it's a clean sweep. I think. Clean sweep. But like we said, sometimes pay-per-views and events don't look as exciting or overwhelming before the event. But after the event, sometimes something can happen in any of these fights that creates a highlight reel for the UFC forever. Just like when Joanna and Weili first faced 2 years ago. At this time, 2 years ago, we didn't think we'd be talking about it 2 years from now. So here's hope that we're going to see something special. At this event, and I think we will. We're going to see something plenty to talk about on the follow-up here on That's a Tap.
And you're going to be in person for that follow. You're going to be dialing in to that follow-up from Singapore. Are you going to be in the Hanging Garden Bar? Is that where you're going to be? Or you're going to be in the cricket club enjoying some mud crab?
Wherever it takes me. I'm going to be chasing the stars.
Dana White, get him, man. Get him. Bring him down to Melbourne. You know what I mean? Bring him down to Melbourne.
No, they're obviously a fight city. So I think the crowd's just going to be awesome. It's just going to be cool to see another Asian Pacific crowd in UFC, and the spotlight be on there, all over the world. Like there's fighters from all over the world watching. There's going to be the Brazil from Glover. There's going to be the Russia from Valentina. There's going to be the Oz Pacific from the Aussie fighters and Adesanya. And Fiallo backing it up again. There's a lot of steam behind Fiallo. Let's say he wins convincingly again. That's like 3
I hope he does.
Fights. Then he's like the new Holland, which is, by the way, where's my guy Holland?
Man, what's going on with Holland? He won his welterweight debut, and then he hasn't come across the scene yet. So maybe they're managing him carefully. So I think they may have rushed him a bit too much. Then they give him Brunson.
Maybe Hamzat's like there in person waiting for a dropout. And he's like ready to step in. Like
quickest turnaround, 5 minutes.
And will we see another weigh-in controversy? They said they were going to fix the scales, or
they got to go digital scales.
Have a security guard watch the scales.
I mean, we saw it in the boxing event, the Cambosis anyone. They were using digital scales. Why not do that with UFC? I don't know what the thing is. Like, you got to wait for it to balance. Come on, man. We're in 2022.
Exactly. That just put a damper on. I forget what the event was now.
The last one, UFC 274,
wasn't it?
No, it was Oliveira Gaethje.
Oh Oliveira.
By half a pound. Man, come on. The rightful champ got denied. Because the bloody scales don't work. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. I think Dana's onto it. From what he said.
Hopefully they fix it. Man, expecting fireworks in Singapore. Same time for us, unfortunately. So I think it's going to be still a day event for you too. But if anything, a little bit earlier, I feel like it's going to be a morning event for you. Whereas because it starts a bit later in the day for us, I'm excited to sit down, pop open a couple of beers, and put my feet up and watch this fight, and also catch your interview with Dana White. Looking forward to that and bringing him here.
Definitely have your phone ready. I'll be giving you some live feed.
I can't. Legally, no action will be streamed. Don't worry.
We'll be hot off the presses straight after the event as well. And hopefully bump into some people, get some sound bites. And stuff. But great getting your predictions. Throw your predictions in the comment section as well, so that we can see your receipts when we do the recap. As well. Give us your overall thoughts of this pay-per-view. But the next pay-per-view after this is huge as well. So we'll be talking about that.
That's a big one.
After this one. And yeah, this is all for this episode.
Yeah.
Of That's a Tap.
And look, before we wrap it up, I
Yep.
forgot to say one more thing. There's a well-kept secret in this UFC 275 with Joe Rogan not going in for the commentary. They're going to get C.T onto the desk. He's going to be there with John Anik.
That's a tap.
And
You tagged him.
You know what, man? That's a tap. Okay, and that's a wrap.
See you
Catch
soon.
you later.